What's happening, folks? This video is brought to you by the One Football app. It's the best football app on the planet. You can get line-up notifications as soon as the teams are announced on match days. You can get goal alerts and league tables from around the world. You can get all the Celtic news sent straight to your phone as soon as it breaks as well. You can download the One Football app by clicking the link in the description of this video. It's absolutely free wherever you get your apps on your phone, and it's a great way for you to support Celtic Fans TV. So if you haven't downloaded it already, or you didn't download it last season, click the link below, get involved and let me know what you think. Cheers, enjoy the video. What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. We're here at Malone's Bar for the post-match pint after Betis 4, Celtic 3. If you're in the area, we're on Sucky Hall Lane. Pop into Malone's Bar for some beer, some music, some football, whatever you're into. I've got Kevin with me. Kevin, a lot to unpick for that game tonight. Topsy-turvy, I suppose, but we'll start from the beginning. Celtic, actually, we had a great start in the game. You could tell from the word go, we were really comfortable on the ball, which is not always the case from minute one away from home in Europe. Tonight it was, and we did really get a foothold early on.
Yeah, I mean, like as you said, the start was absolutely fantastic. Our shape was great. Jota was causing them all sorts of problems. I feel that we were right on top of them. You know, we were always having the ball. We were hungry, looking for possession. Sorrow even looked good at certain points.
Apart from when he got booked 4 minutes.
Like, he was even looking good for the first 20 or so minutes. Well, you know, we were confident, and it's certainly not something you could always say about Celtic from Europe. But like as you say, an absolute great start, and then VAR always gives us a helping hand, and we never thought we'd had VAR. But you got to credit the ball from Jota first and foremost, and then.
Well, that whole goal, I want to give a shout out to Alex, who was on the video with me for the build-up to the Betis game. He told us they were vulnerable in the counter-attack, and that was the case in the first half particularly. Vogic does brilliantly. I think he does 4 or 5 keepy-uppies, flicks it over the boy, and we get the ball out wide to Jota, and he does really well to whip in a dangerous cross, and I think it comes off the defender first, and then off Ayeti, and I thought it's hard to tell if he even hit his hand. I thought it hit him in the chest or the stomach.
From when we saw the next angle, it was the chest, I think.
But they all count.
Yeah, I mean, and also what you got to credit as well, I know he didn't have the greatest of games after it, but Turnbull with the ball 2 out to Jota was an absolutely fantastic ball. He just got there and a great start, and you're just thinking maybe this is the springboard that we need.
Aye, away from home in Europe, you're always looking for a good start, and we did get one. And I thought we're going to come to talking about Vogic and Turnbull as the game went on tonight. But I thought in that first 20 minutes they caused Betis no end of problems.
Yeah.
I thought Vogic was looking really good. Turnbull dangerous as well. But as I say, we'll come to talking about defensively how we were shaping up in midfield. We were causing Betis real problems, as I said already. And then we get in behind again. Vogic is involved. Turnbull and Ayeti. There's almost 2-on-1 going through on goal. And Ayeti, he just gets the touch before Claudio Bravo. And you know that if he gets the touch, it's 90% going to be a penalty.
And this is what we said. There was a bit of debate between the three of us, like whether or not it was going to be a penalty. But as soon as Ayeti he knows as soon as he gets that ball past the keeper, he's going to get the penalty. And to be fair, I was quite surprised at the quickness of the penalty being given, and because I was surprised that there wasn't much of a VAR check on it. But the referee made the correct decision for what we saw, and then an absolutely superb penalty from Juranovic. I mean,
we were all surprised Juranovic stepped up, weren't we? Couldn't believe it.
Could not believe it. I mean, like, I didn't know he was favoured for his penalty taking from where he came from at Legia Warsaw, but absolutely fantastic penalty. If you can do that 9 times out of 10 over the course of the season, I'll be very happy with that.
I think the difficulty is because of the lack of attacking options we've got. We weren't sure who was the penalty taker of the night. We thought Ayeti would just go up and take it, but I think he actually got some treatment after the penalty.
Yeah.
So he was in no state to take it anyway, and then Juranovic stepped up. Good striker of the ball by the looks of things, and he put it out the penalty away absolutely brilliantly.
Yeah.
What did I say to you 2-0?
I don't know if we should put it out because we'll be construed as negative, but something bad's going to happen. You know, that's basically what it is.
I said it was 4-2, wasn't it?
It was 4-2 here.
I know it was 4-3.
We'd lose 4-2, and I says, well, you know, because I did get myself a little bit, I allowed myself to get a little bit carried away, but obviously we know what happened next.
It was surreal because the team coming into the game tonight with all the big players missing, McGregor out, Kyogo out, no Forrest, no Abada, really, really lacking in numerous areas of the pitch. Greg Taylor's out, so we've got a right back playing at left back. Although he looks like a competent player, Juranovic, he's still playing out of position. We've got young Montgomery, who we're not really sure if he's a left back or a left winger yet, playing out on the left hand side. it was a thrown together team because of the injuries, and we'll maybe talk about the bench and the weaknesses on the bench later as well. But you go into that game tonight, which was going to be tough with a full starting 11 anyway, and you're 2-0 up after 25, 30 minutes, and it feels too good to be true. But we know watching Celtic away from home, and this is why I said it 2-0, like, we're probably going to end up losing this 4-2, because you just know that there's a vulnerability there. Hart had made a great save from a corner. I think it was at 1-0.
Yeah, it was at 1-0. It was at 1-0.
And then you think, right, you could tell the game was open in the first half.
Yeah.
And Betis did have a few openings, a few chances, but then we lose 2 goals in the space of 90 seconds.
Yeah. I mean, it's just defensive frailties again. Let us down again, and there can't be many European teams like Celtic when they go 2-0 up against one of the best teams in Spain, finished 6th last year, a top quality side, to then throw it away. But we've seen this play before. It happened at Milan last year, albeit there was no fans. Happened at Lille where we threw it away. Almost okay, we got the draw. Happened at Salzburg. I mean, it's always just the same old story with Celtic. I don't know what it is. You could put any manager in there, and it's always going to be the same story. We just don't know how to play away from home. I don't know whether it's a psychological thing, but something needs to happen to just kind of get. It's okay getting the odd victory over Lazio or Barcelona, or Anderlecht, I should say. But it needs to improve somehow, and I don't know how we're going to do that. But there's not many teams that are like us in Europe, and it's so frustrating to watch because obviously going a wee bit ahead, we grew into the game frustratingly.
Aye, see, after the Alkmaar game, I said that I was like, I watch a lot of football, and I've never seen a theme with a team like Celtic away from home in Europe where you're guaranteed that we'll have a spell where we might concede 2 goals in space of a few minutes. We'll be flustered, we'll panic, we'll look all over the place. And that happened again tonight. And that's why when you go 2-0 up, you think you're in a great position. And I'm thinking, probably end up losing this 4-2. And you might be saying it flippantly at the time, but you know we've got a good foothold in the game and you're hoping we can build on it. Just see it through at half time is what you're thinking. But then in the space of 2 minutes, you've lost 2 goals. And I think you could cobble together the world's greatest minds and let them spend 5 years analysing Celtic away from home in Europe. And I don't know if they could come up with an answer as to why. I don't know if it's psychology. I don't know if it's set up. I don't know if the identity of the club is to play in a certain way. And that, because all of my life, like most of the last 20 years, every single Celtic team I've watched has a dreadful record away from home in Europe. But for maybe a 2-3 month period under Neil Lennon where you thought, we're actually looking a bit stable away from home in Europe. And it lasted 2 or 3 games. And I can't put my finger on it. Is it psychological? Is it tactical? Is it technical? But it's a guarantee that when Celtic go away from home in Europe, we're going to lose soft goals and we're going to panic.
Yeah. Well, I think it could very well be a psychological issue because as soon as we lose that first goal, we just literally crumbled. And then we lose the second, then we lose the third after half time, and then right away, I mean, it's just almost like it must be a psychological thing. Obviously, there'll be a lot of people that disagree with me. There'll be people that could point to the fact that Postecoglou's comments saying that we do need improvements in the sports science department. Maybe there's something there that could be improved upon to maybe improve it even just by a little bit. But it is just, as I said earlier before recording, I mean, I know it sounds so silly to say, but you could have Pep Guardiola in front of that team, but it would still be painful to watch.
I think if the Celtic shirts on, you're guaranteed. Like, the thing tonight is, and you see the psychology of it, 2-0 up, and you lose the first goal, and then you lose the second goal straight away, and then you calm down again. It's almost like you have to let the opposition get back in level terms before you think, right, breathe, calm down. Like, see if Jota takes the chance at 2-0. I also made this joke during the game. I was like, see if you put that away, because they showed the replay at 2-2. They were like, well, could it have been different if Jota put this away? And I was like, no, the only difference is Betis would just be about to score their third to equalise, because the psychology is we're panicking here. Betis have got to go back into the game, and then we lose another goal, and then the game calms down. But we just can't hold on to a lead.
No, and we've never been able to, and I hope it improves in my lifetime, because the way it's going to be, and I've been supporting Celtic since 5 years of age, and I'm now nearly 29. I've never seen it known it any different, even under Martin O'Neill. I know we had the great run to Seville, but even then there was still times where it was just a bit ropey.
Certainly in group stage football.
Certainly in group stage football, it's just always been ropey. But we could be here all night and that could be a whole different chat. But
Aye,
I
absolutely.
suppose we better get back to the game.
Aye, well, the 2 goals, I think the thing that stood out to me for the first one is that Turnbull and Vogic, who I thought were brilliant going forward in the first 20-25 minutes, they were both really high. And I don't know if that is because we sensed, we smelt blood for Betis because we were hurting them on the counter-attack. So I don't know if they just got caught in front of the ball or they were cheating a wee bit. But the ball goes behind them and then Sorrow looked isolated in midfield. And by the time Turnbull eventually comes back into the picture, the TV picture, but we're just late to get back, and then they get the break of the ball and the boy finishes it. But for the second goal, there's an offside. You think, is he in line or is he offside? And he's perfectly in line. Yeah. But the problem is, I think he runs off Carter Vickers, but Ralston stops. Yeah. There's a man behind Ralston on his left shoulder. Yeah. And he's looking at the linesman, hoping this is going to be offside. Yeah. We know under VAR that's not a thing. You need to keep playing because the flag isn't going to go up until the ball goes in the net or until the move finishes. And he switched off. And like Bruno Iglesias, to be fair to him, he's one-on-one with Joe Hart and he just cuts it back for his, I think it's 1 metre to finish into an empty net.
I've got to credit Bruno Iglesias for the way he just put it to 1 metre on a plate. Ralston does stop and you need to play at the whistle at this level because as much as you can pray for the referee to help you, or the linesman to help you, it just did not happen. And then Wanmi was just way too fast for it, and it's an empty net. And then the first goal, Sorrow's just afraid to make a challenge because he's just been booked, and we were saying that the whole first half, like he's going to get sent off. And I think if he stayed on the pitch, he probably could have been. I think they did get a little break. It just kind of was a bit of pinball in the middle of the middle of the box, and obviously it was 2-1. But again, it was just more just frustrating again, and there's only so many ways you can analyse it again and again and again. But it was 2-2 at half time, and you thought, right, well, at least we got to half time. But well,
you go for at 30 minutes in 2-0 up, thinking let's try and get to half time. You lose 2 goals in 2 minutes, and you think, right, let's try and get to half time level. And I talked about Iglesias there. I think he's scored 15 goals in something like 2 seasons, and he nets 2 tonight against Celtic. Of course he does. We start the second half. I get he actually has a chance really early doors. Again, we could get chances. We could hurt Betis tonight, but the problem is the vulnerability at the back is so glaring, and there's no pressure on Canales for the cross for the third goal. And Iglesias gets across Starfelt, and like we looked all over the place down that right hand side. I think Ralston comes high and then it ends up Sorrow who's going out towards Canales, but as I say, there's no pressure on Canales to get his head up, whip in across, and Iglesias gets across Starfelt 3-2.
It's a great finish. You honestly got to give it to Iglesias. It is a great finish, but Ralston and Sorrow, there was just no communication there, because if Ralston's going to go high, then Sorrow needs to cover him, because that was that everybody could see that was the pass that was going to be made. And then it was just frustrating. It was a great ball, and then Iglesias really, you couldn't fault it. But it was the fourth was the most frustrating for me. The fourth goal, because obviously a corner comes in, it's a bit of pinball. The second ball is not attacked by any Celtic, but they're all watching it. It is so frustrating at this level. You do not allow anybody, especially Betis, to then just get a shot away. Okay, it goes through a ruck of players and they get a little bit of luck off the post. But you're just going to invite pressure on that. And then I know we get the third goal and it's all this buts and maybes and a bit, bit of hindsight. But if you just switch on at these times, because we were switched on for the first 20 minutes, so it's just obviously, why can we not switch on for the whole game? Because that's what the top teams do. Yeah.
And the frustrating thing is, again, talking about our defensive vulnerability, this team this season, you think back to Alkmaar, we lose 2 goals in relatively quick succession. Yeah. Tonight we lose in the first half 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes. In the second half, we lose 2 goals in the space of a few minutes. Like, you cannot play at this level if you're going to lose goals in twos.
Yeah.
Like, as you said, the corner comes in. I think Turnbull kind of tries to clear it away, but Ayeti is watching Turnbull clear it away, and as he's watching Turnbull clear it away, Wanmi's ran off him to collect the ball, shoot, and I think Turnbull eventually switches on to the danger and comes in too late.
Yeah.
He's on the edge of the defensive 18-yard box, tries to come in and make some sort of challenge, but it's too late, and that is the problem. Like those, like Ayeti, Vogic, Turnbull to an extent as well, they don't sense danger.
No.
And they didn't sense danger in that position. And for a Betis player to be first to the second ball inside our 18-yard box, have the time to bring it down and strike a cross goal, is just criminal.
I know. And you can say it was a great finish and all that and everything, but at the end of the day, we should not allow ourselves to get in that position. And again, it goes back, and I know I'm sounding like a broken record here, but it just goes back to we always switch off at the most important parts of the game and the most important points of the game. And I know we came back into it, which was the frustrating part, because we always like to let the opposition always get a very great head start in the second half, and then we come back into it. I thought Rogic was always trying to kind of invent something down the right hand side, coming in from the left almost. Thought Jota still looked dangerous.
Yeah, looked dangerous all night, to be fair.
Dangerous all night. I think that
tired though.
Tired, and I think the midfield became tired. But I think that's always going to be a case where we play such a high pressing game on the opposition, and it's okay doing that for 20 minutes, but we need that to be improved, that we can last the game, because it's okay going 2-0 in front, but if you're going to tie, you're just going to let the opposition walk all over you. And I know it's 4-3, but they pretty much did.
Yeah, there's something to be said tonight as well, I think, for the approach by the manager. We know he's told us that we're going to just go and impose our style on the game, regardless of who we're playing, and that puts big demands on the players, particularly in a game like tonight when you're away against a top side from one of the big 5 leagues. That puts big demands on them, and so I don't want to sit here and feel like we're just slating the players for making mistakes or not having a defensive instinct in certain situations. Obviously, they're sent out there to play in a certain way, and they did that tonight. And that comes back to what I'm saying. Like, over the last 20 years, like, Celtic don't seem to have that steeliness when they go away from home.
No.
In Europe, we're weak. Like, we've always been weak away from home in Europe, and you just can't afford that at this level.
No, you really can't. I mean, for years, you think it's going to change. Like, maybe a new manager comes in, implements your style, gets a new players in, but it just seems to be no matter what players come in, it's just always been the same old story from Europe. And I know we obviously got the goal back in 4-3. Obviously a great cross from Turnbull and Ralston. I think made amends for like trying to get us back into the game. And I thought Ralston wasn't actually the worst player out there. I know he had a mistake in him. But I must say, Montgomery played well tonight. I thought he was good down the left-hand side, but we've just still got the defensive frailties at the back. We're just opened far too easy, you know. But still 5 games to go. I think we're still, there's still a lot of points to be picked up. So we'll just see how it goes, obviously. Yeah,
we talked earlier on. I mentioned earlier on the bench. The bench tonight is one of the weakest Celtic benches I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Especially in Europe.
Supporting the club in Europe. I mean, there's just nothing on it. And we know that's injuries, but injuries happen throughout a football season. And we're only just at the start of a season. And I said at the end of the transfer window, if we were to lose, for example, Kyogo Furuhashi and Callum McGregor, we'd be in big trouble. And we have lost those two. And we know Forrest and Abada are still out, but the lack of attacking options on the bench is terrible. The lack of depth that we've got in certain positions is being shown up just now. McCarthy comes on into the game for Sorrow. I thought he done okay, McCarthy, when he came on, but I was so frustrated in the final few minutes where he had 2 or 3 opportunities to play a forward pass into the centre of the pitch to Vogic, who was available, and he opted sideways, backwards. He had like 2 or 3 chances to try and play it forward, and he just wouldn't do it. So I think he did give us a bit of calmness when he came on. Would you have started McCarthy tonight?
It's hard to say, because obviously I would have liked to have seen him, but obviously there's always going to be the doubt over McCarthy with his fitness, because that always has to be the big issue with McCarthy. I thought we did improve when Sorrow did go off, because Sorrow is just so rash and so aggressive in his play and his tackling style that he's always going to attract a yellow card, and potentially could have attracted a red card with one of the challenges. But the thing is, we're talking about, like, people are saying, we had a great transfer window. Well, you could put it to the fact that we don't have a good transfer window, because we've been left so frail. We don't have one attacking player, and we're first game in the group stages. I'm sorry, but that's nothing short of shocking. For a team the size of Celtic.
Well, we've talked about injuries, right? And Kyogo's out, McGregor's out, Forrest, Abada, whatever. I'm forgetting about Giakoumakis because he hasn't appeared yet. We spent £2.5 million for a guy who's not ready yet. It's the middle of September and he's not ready. When is he going to be ready? Like, did we sign him? Like, why did we sign him if we've ended up with 3 strikers? But right now, for the first few weeks, it's only 2 strikers and one of them is injured. So we're left with a Yeti. And Giakoumakis just isn't an option just now because his fitness isn't at the level where it should be. Even if he was at Venlo before, like, surely he needs to be in a situation, if you're going to have that outlay on him, where he can come in and contribute. He's not injured, right? But right now he's unavailable. So we've had a situation where Kyogo's injured, and all of a sudden, from having 5 strikers 2 weeks ago, we've got 1 available.
But I think it goes back to just how long we take to actually get a player in, because Giakoumakis was tracked and scouted, I imagine, for long before we've even heard of him. Surely that would be how a scouting department works. If he was unfit, get him in early enough that he can get his fitness up, help us with whatever way he can, put his stamp on the side to try and win himself a place. But no, we take so long. We sign players on the last day of the season, and then before we know it, we're struggling to fill a team against one of the 6th best team in Spain. See, it's almost laughable.
Aye, the thing I don't understand is, why do they not have a pre-season?
Well,
but did he know he was leaving Venlo and he just didn't do pre-season? Did Venlo not do a pre-season? I know they get relegated, but did they just think this year, boys, we'll just leave pre-season? Why did a professional footballer, regardless of what club he was at, no do a pre-season and end up in a situation where you're mid-September and he's not ready to play yet?
Well, it could be a case that maybe he just down tools, and that is obviously the case. We've seen that the case with other players, but you would think they would at least have some element of fitness. I mean, we've seen it in the past where we've just tried players who just were not ready. But I think I'm sorry, it does go back to we just take far too long to get players in. Players should have been put in long ago. A keeper like Joe Hart should have been in long ago. Who knows, might have been a bit further ahead in the Champions League, but at the end of the day, we need more attacking options. This just highlights the depth issue that we have with Celtic.
Yeah.
And it's actually terrifying to think that we can go through a full season and through the next few weeks with only 1 striker, and Ajeti, to be fair, a couple of goals in a couple of games,
tonight,
and he got the goal. Okay, there's Dubai over if he actually scored it. But at the end of the day, we need options because injuries are going to happen. We've seen it with Kyogo, we've seen it with McGregor, sorry. Abada, obviously you need to respect his religion. At the end of the day, we're very, very short.
I think with Ajeti tonight, you can't look at a game where you've scored 3 goals away from home in Europe and really pin any blame on the attacking players.
No, you really can't.
Alright, we maybe had 1 or 2 more chances. Vogic hits the post. We have that Jota one at 2-0 where it could have been 3. But if you score 3 goals away from home in Europe and you still contrive to lose the game, the problems are in defence.
Yeah.
Leverkusen beat Ferencváros 2-1 tonight. The next game in the group stage is Leverkusen at home. How excited we are for that after watching tonight's defensive display. But back at Celtic Park, you would like to think we're a different animal. We don't have that frailty, whether it be psychological or tactical away from home, because we've got the crowd behind us.
Yeah.
And Leverkusen, the best team in the group on paper, coming out of pot 1. That's going to be a challenge for us. And we don't want to be going into match day 3 against Ferencváros 0 points on the board.
No, we really don't. I mean, obviously we're going to have the crowd behind us. You took the words right out of my mouth there. I mean, I think if I was a betting man, I would put over 3.5 goals on the basis of tonight's game. But
every European game Celtic are involved in this year.
Game, make yourself some money. But honestly, I think it will be a totally different game. I'd like to think we could get something from the game, whether it's 3 points or a point. I'm still not sure. On the first 20 minutes, you would think, well, we've got a real good chance here, but hopefully we'll have some more options with Giakoumakis maybe coming in, maybe with Kyogo coming back, McGregor. So, as I say, it's match day 1. There's still 5 to go. Hopefully, we can still maybe come match day 6 and we'll be in a better position. Yeah,
that double header against Ferencváros is going to be massive. Yeah. That's all we've got time for tonight. Another really frustrating European away night for Celtic. It finished 4-3 in Seville. Like this video, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you shortly for Twitter reactions. Cheers.
Bye.